Good afternoon on this surprise stream. Phoenix is my mod, and she's like, wait, did I miss something? Because she didn't know I was going live. I didn't know I was going live. I had to go live, but still, give me a second. I have to correct this because I cannot hear any audio from my computer. So, let me make sure you can hear me and you can hear my, let's see. Let's go with this. All right, we can hear it. Okay, I got it. I got it, guys. Welcome, you guys. It's hot in this room. I closed the door. I'm running around. I told you I had to go to the bathroom real fast all of a sudden. I have a nervous bladder. I guess I didn't know that. Too much information. Sorry about that. I'm Teresa Bruce. This is Teresa Better Life, that I'm known by on all the handles. Welcome in. I needed to be with you guys. I was working hard on an interview that we're doing tomorrow, and we'll talk more about that. It's hot and my hair's fluffy and big today. So we'll talk more about what that interview is going to be tomorrow. You guys will be, hopefully you'll be excited. But there's been things blowing up, like I said on the thumbnail. Things are blowing up on social media, and these attacks against podcasters and the doxing of podcasters is insane. So that's why I felt like I needed to go on. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Did you guys see what's going on with Perez Hilton? Tell me in the chat, because this is wild. I saw it yesterday. I saw it, late last night. I actually saw the footage. Did you guys see the footage of Perez before they took it down? I'm sure you can find it places, but I saw the gruesome footage. So trigger warning to everyone on that. So Perez went live on TikTok for about 30 minutes. He was harming himself. It was pretty gruesome. I'll tell you. So I'm a dissector. I like to dig into people, how they think, what they look like, what's motivating them. And so in that I actually could have been a coroner because I can dig into stuff like that. I just, never did, obviously. I'm here in front of you, not, working on cadavers. Retroplank, I haven't seen you in a bit. And anyway, so I didn't look away because I'm interested in human behavior. I'm interested in what people do, what people say, what people think, the motivations of people, which is why I'm here with you, so that we can dig into all of that together. So yeah, I looked at it. And I did look at it multiple times. Tell me in the chat, if you guys saw it, first of all, who saw it? And what are your thoughts? Do you think this was substance related, mental health issues, or do you think it was spiritual, or a combination of the three? Tell me what you think. So Phoenix is my mod, and let me know, Phoenix, if you can throw, comments up there. I think you can. I think I have given you permissions to do that. Yeah. Saw it. Disturbing. So disturbing, you guys. What was disturbing? I mean, aside from the obvious, was there anything that stood out to you about what you saw? And I know a lot of people, I was watching Popcorn Planet. You guys watch Popcorn Planet? Andy Signor. So he was one of the first that I saw covering it. But today he was saying that, there's people, Christians online, condemning Perez and saying, pretty much it's because of his lifestyle. I don't believe lifestyle necessarily can do that. I think if you are into some dark things, eventually those are going to take root and they will manifest in some kind of way that you don't necessarily bank on. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see this play out. Did you guys follow Perez before this? So I didn't follow Perez. I know he was a gossip columnist back in the day, way back in the day when Paris Hilton was a big deal. And so he was, just like any other, person reporting on that stuff. It was pretty sensationalized, right? How he did things. But how I became more familiar with Perez was when the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively lawsuit came. And you guys know, my core people who know that's how I got my start here. This is why I, put my voice out here in front of everybody to see. But anyway, so he was also covering that, but I've watched him here and there ever since, and I could see that there was some trouble and there was something going on underlying, and wondering what that was. So it did, play out in front of everybody. It played out. So anyway, so I know we definitely need prayers going out to him. We also need truth. So what I'm saying is prayers, whatever is the root and cause of what happened and what we saw or what we're hearing today, I'm just praying that comes out so that there can be healing and restoration, because that's the best possible outcome we can hope for. Add to stage. Oh, okay. So, Phoenix, I don't know. You entered in, and I'm not sure if I think you're here, Phoenix. Just let me know in the private chat if you're here, just so that you can add comments. So I just want to make sure. Anyway, so that made me want to come in and talk to you guys about it, because it's a lot. Prayers for the 3 children. Yeah. Amy, for sure. Those kids, and they have an elderly grandma looking out for them, right? So they definitely need. Okay, got you. I see your message, Phoenix. Got it. Okay. So yes, definitely need prayers for them. You guys let me know when Candace announces that she's going, because we'll just flip on over to watch her when she comes on. So speaking of Candace, and speaking of the war against content creators, there's a war, and it's been happening, and we've seen it play out ever since the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively case, as content creators came out and talked about that, and pushed that to the forefront of our attention, of your attention. And so Blake Lively had subpoenaed many content creators. Some content creators had just a handful, literally a few followers, and she subpoenaed them in the case, and it was to chill free speech. All of this. So Candace, had shown, let me see if I can flip to Candace's Instagram. Let me find her real quick while I talk to you guys. So Frank Torque, I didn't get to see the whole interview yesterday, or the whole episode yesterday of Candace's, because I was on the phone myself doing a phone interview, taking care of things for tomorrow. But let me see if I can find her thing. So this is what. Okay, Candace, is this the one? Hold on. Let me find it. Here it is. Okay, I'll share my screen with you guys. I'm sure most of you saw it, but I just want to play it for people who haven't. And let's go. Let me see.
Our government lies. They thought if Officer
Exodus 22:22 says that if you abused a widow or the fatherless, God says, I will hunt you down and kill you with the sword.
I just, that's a veiled threat. So here's what I want to say to you. If Frank Turek feels comfortable now in public doing these, that's not even so veiled. Is that even veiled, you guys? It's not veiled. It's not a veiled threat. Tell me in the chat, do you think that's a veiled threat, or do you think that's a full-on threat, or do you think he's really just trying to be a Christian? Okay, because to me, this is a threat. I think to a lot of people, it's a threat. And what I'm saying is, if he feels comfortable like this on social media to put out the call for harm to Candace, imagine what the call was to do to Charlie. If this is what Erika and Turning Point USA and Benny Johnson and Officer Tatum and all of those people, if they, Paramount Tactical, like there are so many right now. And if this is what they are doing here in front of our face, full on threat, yes, in front of our face, what kind of calls were they putting out on Charlie? Tell me, Frank, what kind of calls did you do on Charlie? Because he was against AI, he was against tech, he was against the countries over there that we're fighting and that we joined forces with. What else was he against, you guys? What else was he speaking out against? And so, you know, the patterns as we go through and I watch these patterns that are happening, this isn't just TPUSA, guys. This is the Trump administration. We've seen it happen over and over and over and over again. You speak out in one certain way against anything they do, and you were immediately a target. Immediately. And he doesn't care. Do you guys remember in the what year was that? Maybe you guys can help me out. When he was in the he was giving a speech and somebody stood up and they were speaking, and he actually told people to go beat the guy up. He called for violence. He called for violence. And how are we still sitting here? How is MAGA still sitting here and saying this is the innocent party? Okay, we all know there's a uniparty going on right now. So the patterns are the same. And TPUSA are falling in step with the pattern that Trump has set. He said it in his first administration. The first run that he had, and where he would just publicly attack. And I want to tell you, I blame him for this because politics is ugly. It was all ugly. It's always been ugly. But when Trump took office in some kind of way, he started this backlash that made it okay for people to come out with violence, to come out and attack in a very violent way, not just physically, but with words. So early on today, I was really busy in life doing the life things that I've got going on. And Elizabeth Lane messages, she texts and she's like, hey, look at this post, right? From Nate at, what is he? Valhalla. Nate at Valhalla. And so Nate was going on and he was going after Gary at Paramount Tactical because he is one of the ones, did you guys see, he's one of the ones who is leading the charge in doxing and attacking. There's an entire network going on. There's an entire network behind our backs, a web that is involved with Turning Point USA, one of the arms for the uniparty administration that's going on, and they are directly attacking our speech in the same way that Blake Lively did to everyone else at the beginning of this. And I said, when this happened with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, I said, this is just the beginning, y'all. They want us to shut up, and they can't. They won't. They're not going to shut us up. Let me see if I can find that post. Let's see. I'm going to let me share my screen. You guys can look with me. You guys can look with me while I go through X. Okay. Okay. Let me go. Can I find him this way? Hold on. You know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Like I said, this is last minute. Let's see, Brandy, because I know that she reposted. Oh, here we are.
If you guys haven't noticed, over the last... Okay, so if you guys haven't noticed, over the last 7 months, Nate gets attacked nonstop, non-fucking stop on X. I don't have X. By some very specific people who also attacked Joe Kent, who also attacked Candace Owens, who also attacked Ian Carroll. We all know who they are, right? Right? We all know who they are. And they're fucking Green Berets, right? A couple of cocksucker fucking Green Berets who pretend like they're badass war heroes that are all fucking full of shit. They have no credibility behind them. And they constantly want to attack Nate. And the problem is Nate is very respectful of the Green Beret community. You all know that. My dad's a Green Beret. And so what I don't want to ever do is devolve into what they're doing and bring attention, negative attention to the Green Beret community. But I can only get shit talked to me for so long before.
There's only so long, you guys. Like, he has been respectful. I've seen him in different podcasts. He was on with Bays. He's been on different people, and he's been respectful. He's said gently, more gently, and there's only so much. We're human, right? We're human, and there's only so much you can take before you're like done. He's at this point.
Or I finally say, you know what? I'm fucking sick and tired of this. And I got called a liar today. And we all know who I'm going to talk about. Gary Melton, Paramount fucking Tactical, right? You know what? Gary, you've been fucking attacking me non-fucking stop for months. I've never said a fucking word back to you because I actually respect the Green Beret community. I don't attack fellow Green Berets. Even Matt Tardio, who's my friend, has publicly apologized for even doing fucking content with you. Publicly apologized, privately apologized to me for even sharing the same fucking camera as you because you're such a little piece of shit. But what you did, Gary, today is you called me a liar. Oh, Liz. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Should we just get Liz in here?
Yeah, let's get Liz. Let me text her and see if she.
All right,
can
she's
come
gonna
in.
she's gonna lie. She wants me to wait, but I can't wait now. We're too far down. We're just gonna do it. All right. So here's the thing. Liz is gonna log in and watch because Liz knows because she's been massively attacked. So here's the thing. Let me give some context here. I have been, you guys know, so fucking respectful while these little cocksuckers have attacked me nonstop, called me fake Green Beret when I have fucking way more impressive fucking Special Forces resume than they do. They don't have fucking Valorant combat awards. They don't have any of the shit I have. I don't fucking talk about this, but I'm so fucking sick and tired of listening to these little fucking cocksuckers talk shit about people like me and Joe Kent who have infinitely more impressive resumes than they do. All right. And again, you guys know I don't do this, but I'm just fucking sick of it. I'm sick of just watching them talk nonstop shit to me when I mind my own fucking business. All I do is I go out, I do ballistic tests, right? I do
Liz is driving right now. We'll see where she's going.
scientific studies and all this different shit, trying to like bring up, and what do? They do panels, right? Trying to debunk everything I say when they have no credibility, by the way, by themselves. And I finally hit a fucking break point with these little cocksuckers because Elizabeth, let's see if I can pull up the actual clip from a Liz. Let's watch this together because Liz covered this on Tucker Carlson. Okay. And just so you know, Liz is talking about me here. She's telling a story here, which I wasn't going to.
Yeah. Did you guys
let's
see
watch
this?
this together and then I'll give some context. Okay.
Guy unlike
Yes.
others, and he calls him and he says, "Are you okay,
This
dude?"
is after Gary, the first time Gary decided to talk shit about me on Twitter, out of nowhere, by the way.
What?
Me and Liz are going to cover all this. We're going to call all of this. Let me give some context, because what Gary decided to say on Twitter today is that none of this happened. So Gary, I'm right fucking here, buddy. You remember, let's talk about this. Let's say this publicly, because Nate never talks about this shit publicly, but let's go ahead and talk about it. You said I'm a liar. Gary, you said I'm a liar, but you don't remember when the first time you decided to talk shit about me on Twitter and I fucking called you up privately because I'm a real fucking man. I'm like, your little cuck bitch ass, you little fucking pussy. What you did when I called you up, do you remember? And I said, Gary, why the fuck are you talking shit about me outside of nowhere, Gary? Gary, you're going to see this too, but I'm done. I'm done with your bitch ass, all right? You said, what'd you say? When I called you up and I said, what's your fucking problem, man? Why are you talking to me? I'm so sorry, Nate. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's not the way I meant it. It's completely misrepresented. I respect the shit out of you. Over the top apologies. You remember that, Gary? I remember that. But now you're saying that that's a lie. No, that's not a lie, is it, Gary? And so, Gary, if I'm so fucking sick and tired of you talking shit about me on fucking X like a little punk ass fucking bitch when I've approached you.
Okay, normally you guys know I try to not, curse, too much. I do curse, but I try to be respectful of you guys. But anyways, I feel like this is warranted. This is happening over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Privately and kept my mouth shut and been respectful. But now, Gary, how about this? How about the next time you want to fucking say anything online about me, you fucking come out to my house. I got a combatants gym in my fucking house, and me and you just fucking solve this man to fucking man. Why don't you put your little pussy ass bitch mouth or money where your mouth is and come find out? How about that? I'm fucking sick and fucking tired of it, buddy. You're a fucking pussy, buddy. I will fucking fold you like a fucking lawn chair. We'll do it for charity. We'll donate it to fucking Erika Kirk if you want. Come get some. Otherwise, shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth. Stop talking about me online. If you want to solve it, let's solve it in person. Public challenge. You and me.
Okay, he's inviting him to a public challenge, and it's not a debate, y'all.
Otherwise, shut the fuck up. I'm twice your fucking size. I fucking fight 5 days a week. Let's do it. Let's find out how fucking tough you are. Stop yapping your fucking mouth on social media, fucking bitch.
Dang. That. Oh. Let's go. Here we go. Why is that? Oh, there we go. Anyway, so what did you guys think? What do you think? I think Gary deserved that. So it was hard. So obviously we all want to try to not get physical, right? But do you think sometimes these guys, sometimes we have to go like, let's put the gloves on and like, come on, bring it. Anyway, so I'm seeing it like Elizabeth may be able to go on audio with us. She can't go video, but maybe audio. So Elizabeth Lane, she went on Tucker. You guys go look at it because there's a lot behind this. So the people behind this are with Laura Loomer. They're with the Trump administration. They're with TPUSA. They're with Brandon Tatum. They're with Benny Johnson. Who else? I know I'm forgetting so many people. So now let me look at Bays because Real Bays, who is an amazing, I love him so much. Okay, so let me find what he just posted. Okay, and then we can look at that. So Sean Campbell is a person, he's going on, he likes to attack women. He likes to attack smaller content creators. He's attacked our friend Ali Top Files. He's attacked Fearless Phoenix. Let me know. Gosh, I just forgot her name because I just have a mind like that that'll go blank. The researcher, Bays really likes her, but anyways, let's go. So he goes on. Allie Top Files has a daughter. She has her life. Hold on, let me look at this real quick. And so Sean Campbell has gone on. He was the one who doxed Billy, who doxed Brandy, who put a lot of people's stuff. Oh, Leah Files. You guys watch Leah Files? He doxed her with her real name. And, anyways, this guy has worked for these people. ADN, thank you. What's good, everybody? Hey, can you come on, Bays? I'll send you the link. So Bays in the chat, my man. I love him so, so, so dearly. And it's ADN. ADN. I was going to get it backwards because I'm like, I don't know. I'm not dyslexic, but I can just be like that sometimes. ADN. Anyway, she does amazing work. You guys go follow her. Anyway, so wherever I was in talking about that, I lost my place, you guys. Bays has me shook because he came in. But anyway, so ADN is covering this stuff. Sean Campbell is out there doxing people, and he works for these other nasty, nasty guys. So I'm going to share this tab with you, and let's look at what Bays has to say. Yeah, he's Bays. I love him, and he's very modest and very kind. You guys, he's so supportive. Love him so much. Anyway, so I want to go like this. Let's look at this. This is Sean Campbell. He is the hacker that's been threatening women and children on the internet. He used to work for Laura Loomer. He worked for Laura Loomer. And who does Laura work for? Trump. Other countries, TPUSA, Erika Kirk. If she's not, we don't even know what even role she plays in all of this, except we can tell it's not a good one. Let me see what Bays says. No worries, Bays. But anyways, let's talk about this. So he used to work for Laura Loomer as a video editor. By the way, I'm looking for a video editor because I'm so slow and it takes me so long, you guys. He works for Arsenal Media Group. You guys, researchers, let's go look that up. Company that was co-founded by Benny Johnson. And most recently, he was on Gary Melton's show, Paramount Tactical, with Lisa Knows. I've seen her on TikTok, bashing Candace Owens and others who have been covering the Charlie Kirk investigation. He's trying to portray himself as a dangerous man because of his ties to powerful people. Oh, just like Laura. Birds of a feather, you guys. And his hacking abilities. But the truth is, he's a coward piece of shit that blocked me and tried to post lies about me from a burner account because he's only brave enough to attack women and make them fear for their children's lives. If Sean Campbell is really hacking to get the information he's posting and using it to dox and threaten people, he should be exposed. He should be exposed. And the people he loves should be exposed. So I'm not one to say this. I would not. Okay, but if he wants to play this game and he wants to put others at risk, the people you love, the people we love, the people who support us and who are behind us, and sometimes content creators, we don't even have our families behind us, right? We're out there. All we have is each other. Okay? Supporting one another for truth. He should be exposed, investigated, and not that I'm saying his family deserves it, but what I'm saying is if he wants to put other families at risk, then turnabout is fair play. At a certain point, you can see and you've got to turn it around, because sometimes people only understand what they're doing until they get it done back to them. Okay. He should be investigated and thrown in jail, but unfortunately, because he has friends with people like Laura, he's friends with people like Laura Loomer, that's unlikely to happen. The best we can do right now is expose him and let the world know what is going on. I ask that you please like and share this post. I'll put it in the comments. I really want to raise awareness to my friends because this is just wrong and someone could get hurt if it's not stopped. God bless everybody and thank you for your support. Real base. Okay. And it's true. And it's true. Sometimes these people, they do not understand any language except for what they do themselves. And that's why they call us grifters, because what do? They grift. And that's the only thing they understand. And they're working for the same conglomerate. All of these people are working for the same people. And just like Frank Turek called violence upon Candace. Sorry, what was that? I just got that. Obviously, I meant show. Okay, so, oh, yeah, let me, I'm going to copy this and put it in the comments here for you guys. If you're on X, go look at this, share it. So it's more important than ever that we unite. So anyways, just the violence that is being called upon, again, that's not okay. Anyway, and I'm going to add Elizabeth is here, and let's hear from Elizabeth because I know she has a lot to say. It's projection. I want to say it is projection. It is 100%. 100. And guys, I just have to make clear what they're doing in front of our face, they did behind Charlie's back. And if they're doing this in front of our face, imagine the conversations they had about Charlie, which probably, allegedly, in my opinion, prompted him to say he's in fear for his life. Luckily, a lot of these people have balls. Okay,
Hello?
you're here. We can hear you, Elizabeth.
Hey
Welcome.
guys, sorry, no video. I'm actually not at home right now, so it's just gonna be my voice. Thank you. And I have probably like 5 to 6 minutes, but I wanted to come on because I love Teresa, so I was like, sure, let's jump on. What's going on, guys? I'm just jumping in. So
So I was telling them, I showed them Nate's post
yeah.
that we looked at earlier going, and then I just looked at Baze's post on X about Sean Campbell. And I'm telling them, I'm letting them know, first of all, to go watch your interview with Carlson, with Tucker Carlson,
Yes.
but that this is coordinated. There is a network against us. There's a network against truth. There's a network against truth tellers.
Yeah.
And if they are out there like Frank Turek calling for violence upon Candace Owens and the
Yep.
rest of us, imagine what they did behind Charlie Kirk's back.
100%. And there's a reason why it's a network, and there's a reason why they are going after independent journalists, because what happens when you commit a crime? You need to cover up a crime, right? How do you cover up a crime? You go after the information. What else can you do? People that are investigating the crime. So yeah, like there is a network. I spoke about the network. Definitely go see Tucker's show because it's so important. But go to Teresa, if you have your computer in front of you, go to either my page or Candace's page and see the last post on mine or Candace's. You will see a full-blown network. That cluster is TPUSA. So there are different clusters like I spoke about in Tucker's interview. And that particular one, as you can see, you'll recognize a lot of people there attacking everyone. That one right there. So that came from the insider. That's a group chat for all these people. Those are the people attacking Candice, me, and everyone else. This is TPUSA's cluster, as you can see. And there are more. This is only one chat room. And it's funny that I just did the interview with Tucker Carlson, and Tucker unfortunately doesn't have this platform where you put up the evidence on the screen, even though I had it with me so that Tucker could see it, all of it. And now all hell is breaking loose with these people because they are scattering like a freaking, they don't know what to do. And even their insider leaked this.
An insider, you guys, leaked this. This is a group chat. This is coordinated. Erika Kirk and TPUSA acting like they're a Christian organization. You guys are being fooled. Not you or who are here with me, everyone else. And so it's so much more important that we have courage to be able to post and repost about this stuff. It's that big. I can't do the music. I can't do the sound. I
Yeah.
guess. Let me block that. How do I block the sound? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So it's super important for everybody to support your content creators and truth tellers because
Yeah.
um
That's
because
really
this
all
is
we've
happening.
got. Like all we've
Mhm.
got is people support. No one else is supporting us. Nobody. In fact, they are attacking us like crazy. They're taking our families. They are threatening us. Like I got threat from Zelensky himself. Like, well, not obviously Zelensky himself as a president, but they send me something like Zelensky sends his love.
Yeah.
Well, I think I have an idea. We can send our love to Zelensky.
We can send our love and we can send our love to all these people. So
Mhm.
you guys go back and look at this. Like, of course we are peacefully, we're doing these things, right? Because we don't want them to do what they're trying to do is turn us against each other. First of all, the other thing they're trying to do is incite violence, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As made obvious by Frank Turek in the guise of of speaking biblically. And it's fake, it's false, it's fake, it's gay, all of the things.
No. Yeah, totally. I hope you enjoy Nate's video though.
That was a good video. So yeah, you guys go look at that and support. I'll let you go. I know, Elizabeth, you got some stuff to do, but I appreciate you popping in.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Teresa. I'll see you soon, girl. You should come on my show.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, guys, so it is important. I know it's so scary to put yourself out there. I was just on with Bays on Monday. If you guys want to go back and look at that, we had a really good conversation. And there are times even now putting myself out there more than I've ever been that I'm afraid to hit post. I'm afraid to, share that stuff. But it's really important because this is how the truth spreads. And we only have this certain amount of time that we can do this before they take this from us. And I'm telling you, it's in the works. It's in the works for these guys to control what we see, to control what we say, even more so than they're doing now. Now they're doing it, they're still doing this a little bit in the background, right? We can go YouTube suppressing us, TikTok obviously is suppressing, X is suppressing. And so we're still there talking about it and saying it, but there's going to come a time when it's going to be so much in our face that it can't be denied any longer. Just like the things that they're doing right now. They used to be able to do it undercover. They used to be able to hide what they're doing. They used to want to hide what they were doing, and now they don't care. And there's a reason they don't care, because something is coming down the line that will make it so they don't have to care. And that's the elimination of us and our free speech. They want to make people afraid. They want to make you afraid to repost, to share, to speak out. This is what's called chilling free speech. They do things to make people afraid to speak out, to stand up. so that so not only people like us who want to go out and be in front of the camera and be a voice, or beyond X, even in the written word, they want to make us afraid, but the bigger picture is to make you afraid. This is a fear tactic. So anyway, you guys need to be aware and to be there. And so what's happening, what I really love and what I really wanted to see back when Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively were going through that whole lawsuit and people were standing up for it, was that I wanted to see people supporting content creators, and to a great degree they did. But right now, as much as they amp up against us, we have to match that. We have to match that energy, and we have to stand together, and we have to stand in force. In force, and not in the way that Frank Turek is saying, but they want to create, I feel like they really do want to create riots. They want to create violence, because why? If they can create violence like that out on the street, then they can instate a police state, curfews, because people want to go out and riot. They can instate, we need more surveillance so that we can find these people who want to commit these crimes. Because as Larry Ellison has said, I want to be able to stop crime before it happens. I want to be able to look at people and be able to have AI evaluate what's the likelihood these people are going to commit violence. One, yes, New World Order, LMG Philanthropy 2.0, yes. And it's something of the likes that we can't even imagine. So it's important, guys. That's why I decided to go last minute. That's why Phoenix, my mod, was like, wait, did I miss something? We're going live. And I'm like, yeah, it's a last minute thing. Get crunk and listen. Wait, where are you? Hi. Thank you so much. I'm still, you know what? I want to tell you guys, this doesn't come naturally. So it's a natural part of who I am on the inside. It's unnatural to let it be unleashed for me to share it with you guys, or even other people. I was talking with Baze about this the other night. After, he's so cool. So after I got done with Baze, he's like, hang tight, I'm going to end the stream and then let's you and I chat some more. But we've already chatted over text and stuff. So we talked about how he's been through some shit, right? And I've been through some shit. And what it did for him is it made him more vocal. It made him want to stand up and stand out. So I don't know if there's a difference between, going through trauma and drama with men or women. But for me, what it did was like, oh, like in front of people, I've kind of got to make myself smaller. Or if there's somebody that seems like more important or whatever, I'm less important. I've got to shrink down, because when I stand up and when I speak out, people want to slap you down, as we're seeing. So even it's unnatural for me to be out here like this speaking, but it's so important. And so sometimes we may get things wrong. That's fine. But there's more danger in not speaking out, and there's more danger in not standing up. I've witnessed that in my own life through all the life things. But yeah, I mean, be a disturber, be a shit disturber, you guys. Baze is amazing. So I think I just saw Candace maybe announce, let me know in the chat. So I've been getting over. So, okay, I was in Utah, you guys, for the preliminary hearing for Tyler, and I'm going back. I will be back in Utah before the preliminary hearing, September 1st. I will be attending that. But anyway, so I got out there, and I don't know if there was something in the air. As soon as I got into the car, Brandy Siciliani, she says it's so great. She has got this Italian accent. But so she picks me up from the airport, right? I immediately get out into the air and I start sneezing. I'm like, what does Utah have in the air? Does Utah have some freaky stuff in the air? Because I immediately started sneezing. Then she started sneezing and she kept swearing she's not sick. I'm like, you're sick, girl. I'm sick. We've got this upper thing. But anyway, so I want to say if I go out to Utah again and have this like snot thing that they caused when I first went out there, then we know something's in the air with Utah. But anyway, I'm going back out there. I got off track. I love Brandy's energy. She is a badass. Her and Billy, they're great. And you know what? They'll talk to anybody. They bring out. So I'm an introvert, extrovert, and they very much seem like more extrovert people. They will go just start having a conversation, which is really beneficial when you're reporting because you need to make contacts. You need to speak to each other, and you need to speak to other people. And so they're, I'm learning from them as well. But anyways, so I'll be out there and we'll be covering that. So make sure to watch that. And Stu Peters has said, hey, when you guys are out there, when he was talking to Billy and Brandy, if you guys are out there and you're doing that, let's go live. So I'm sure Stu will be covering that and going live as well. I am hoping to make, oh wait, who said this? Carmageddon. Have you heard that song by IMA, Carmageddon? Oh my gosh, it is so good. I love it. IMA is amazing. You guys go catch her on Spotify. Yeah, sitting in a bowl, like it was a thing. It really affected me. So, but what was I saying? So anyway, so what was it? Where was I, you guys? So we'll be out there. I'm coming out early. Actually, this is where I was going. If you know somebody in the Washington, St. George area, I will want to speak with them in person. I will want to make contact. If you know anybody, if you have any contacts whatsoever, start spreading the word. Send an email to teresabetterlife@gmail.com because I would like to make contact with them before the hearing. I'm thinking about staying a little bit later for that. But anyway, so did you guys, Phoenix, did Candace announce when she's going on? Yeah, please hit like, subscribe, hit all notifications bells, especially when we're talking about different things like this. Sometimes YouTube, I was getting messages saying that people weren't getting notifications when I was going live or even making posts. So it's important, you guys, for the algorithm, for you guys to engage, hit the heart next to the chat and share and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm going to keep, this is a little bit of my ADD stuff. Like I just want to go off on like the little different things and talk about them. So what I did want to make sure that we understand is that these people are behaving in our face. So when I mean these people, the people, Laura Loomer, Frank Turek, TPUSA, Erika Kirk, are behaving in our face like this. Imagine what they do behind the scenes. And Candace has alluded to that and actually has said flat out, Erika Kirk is making calls like she's not the person that she pretends to be. And they're hiding behind being Christian, and they're all rats. Hi, Waking America. Going, all rats. Waking America. He has a YouTube channel and he talks politics in that. So I'll have to be honest, I don't always catch it. I've caught pieces here and there. There's so much, but anyways, check that out. He has some good information and has a passion for the politics side of things. And it's an important thing for us to have our eyes on. Send me a message in the private chat if you would, Phoenix, about if Candace announced and if she's going on. If you guys want to stick around, I have, and how I got started. Like, okay, so I got started with Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, making YouTube stuff and all of that. But how I really started doing more of the lives, I was really wanting to do a watch party with Candace Owens because her chat goes so stinking fast. You cannot even engage with it. And so I had sent Candace a message and I'm like, hey, I really want to do this thing where I do a live watch party. Let me know if this is not okay with you. If it is okay, I'd love to know that too. But either way, like just if it's not cool, let me know. So I did not ever hear anything back, and I don't know what that means, but she didn't say don't do it. And so anyways, we do a live watch party, and that's how I really got more comfortable with going live is really being with Candace and being in support of her, supporting Charlie and supporting the truth and supporting an investigation. So anyways, you can stick around for that. I don't know when she's going, but if and you can stream us together, and you can stream on a different device. You can stream Candace, so she gets that as well. But you're welcome to stay, and if you don't want to, that's fine too. I completely understand. Hey, has Jamie, I see you here. And Letters, she goes live in 30. Perfect. So there was another person in our core group since the beginning, and his screen name, well, we call him Letters. He's got a bunch of letters strung together. I hope you're good. So I want to shout out to Letters because he had over the weekend he said, I'm bored, go live. So I told him I'd be going live. So hopefully we get to see him in here today. And let's see, I'd rather give you girl views. Awesome. Thank you for being here. But so anyway, the whole thing with that. So I wanted to also, since we have time a little bit, to go over, if you guys didn't catch Bays and me together, then please go back and watch that stream. So we had started, so for me, there was a little bit of confusion because Bays is, I'm like, hey, how do you feel? We're going to do a pre-recorded thing. And initially I'm like, how do you feel about going live instead? And so he's like, yeah, let's go live. So I had prepared all this information about tech and the flock cameras and Axion and all of that stuff. And so then at the last minute, I found out like, oh, he's going to host it. And so I had to like change. And then I was super nervous because I'm used to being on this end. I'm used to being on the end of I'm in control. I'm like, I've got this whole thing structured. I'm interviewing people and I'm asking questions. So then when I was going to be on the end of, I'm going to ask you questions, I panicked a little bit, you guys, to be honest. So, and then I had a phone interview, and we'll get into that in a minute. So I had a phone interview that I had scheduled beforehand, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can rearrange my notes. I can make bullet points so that I'm like good and golden. I had tables for everybody and all of that. So, so then we go live, and and so there was a plan, and then I think we sort of got away from that a bit, and I would say that was more because of me, but I enjoyed the time. We still have really great information in that, and I will be able to go more in depth about that. And I think we'll be able to get Leah on with us. And so we'll take what she's done, her investigation, and what she's uncovered, and be able to talk about that together, which I'm super excited about. So I'm putting Leah on the spot right now because she doesn't know yet, but I've invited her onto the show. In my mind already, she's coming. So about the interview that I had. So I had a very long conversation. Do you guys remember back in April when Candace first broke the story about Corby Hall? Okay, so she found that information from the writer Corey Kennedy. You can find her on Facebook. She's also on X. So Corey Kennedy had really done this deep research and spent a lot of time with Corby Hall. So it was that reporting that Candace based her show off of, and brought us the information that she first brought us about Corby and Victor Marks. So back then I had sent a message to Corey saying, hey, Corey, I'm really love the care that you took, because she was very thorough. Like, if you read through the work she did and even what Candace presented, she did a really good job. And I felt like she was very careful with Corby and all of that. And I really appreciated that. So I sent her a message way back then. And it wasn't until Sunday, this past Sunday, that Corey reached out to me and says, hey, a lot of things have changed. And she said, she gave me her phone number and she's like, hey, let's go ahead and talk. So I scheduled this phone interview with her thinking, okay, like we can do an hour together and get acquainted and all this. And then I'll hop on with Baze and I still have time. So as my conversation with Corey was going, it was so interesting. And she had so many things to say. It kept, like, the clock kept ticking. And I'm like, okay, I got to look at the clock. I think I can still do it. So if I can still push it and I can still push it, and then I just have to get my lighting done and set all this up, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I can still make my bullet points. And so I pushed it, not thinking about I would want to put makeup on. You guys don't want to see me without makeup. You'll see me at some point without makeup. But so anyway, so that was one of the reasons. My conversation with Corey was fascinating. It was really important stuff. And I'll tell you, one of the things that we talked about and covered was this. So she had posted, let me see where this notes is. And I feel like it goes really well with what we're talking about today. So here's the quote. So she writes, the old gatekeepers no longer fully control investigative narratives, meaning mainstream media and reporters, they do not investigate. They don't control the investigation. They actually can kind of have some control of the narratives, but she goes on to say, increasingly citizen journalists, podcasters, independent researchers, coders, archivists, and alternative media figures are performing the kind of deep dive investigative work legacy outlets once prided themselves on. Remember when they did that? Remember when they still worked? What an easy job it is to sit there and get hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year to just say what they tell you to say. Okay, that's my extra part. So she goes on to say, the reality is both exciting and dangerous. Exciting because truth no longer depends entirely on institutional permission. Dangerous because independent media carries an enormous responsibility to remain disciplined, factual, evidence-driven, and resistant to emotional tribalism. Truth-seeking is messy, and friends are few. So she wrote that. And to me, and especially at this point in time, it's very poignant. It's very true, and it's very important. They're not doing their jobs anymore. And the only people that are listening to them are the ones of the older generations. I know there's exceptions to that, but they're not doing the job. And so it's so much more important for everybody to support, not only with your time, your engagement, your energy, your repost, but financially as well. This isn't that kind of plug, but I would just want to say, like, people, Brandy. So for example, we do this practically. We've got more money into it than we get out of it. Brandy was just approached by Daily Mail and a reporter on Daily Mail who wanted to talk to her and ask her, what do you feel about, that they say you're grifters? And she's like, grifters? I have a full-time job. I do this in my free time. I do this because I believe in it. I've spent more money doing this on equipment, on time away from work, on, for me, flying out to Utah. But, we spend more time covering this because we care. We actually care, which was what journalism was once about. And we're not getting We're not getting, the payout. We're not getting the payout for that. So grifting where? Grifting how? So the grifters are the ones who are accusing us of doing the grifting. And they're hiding behind this Christianese, this Christian background, the Bible. And I want to say, you're fake, Frank Turek, Blake Neff, Andrew Colvett, Erika Kirk. You're fake, sitting there acting like you forgive Tyler Robinson. Kill him. You believe in the system. Kill him. Ask questions. Shut up. We see you. Gary, Laura Loomer, we see you. And we're coming for you. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep coming, and we're going to keep coming, and we're going to keep coming. Buckle up. So that's what I got. That's why I was like, I have to go on. I have to go on. We see you. Yes, Sandra. We see you. And we're not backing down. We're not going anywhere. Yeah, thanks for having our back. Thanks for that. And I know there was so much more as I was trying to throw this all together. I'm like, I have so much in my mind to say to these people, because if this is, again, the thing I want to stress is if this is what they're doing here in front of us, imagine what they were doing behind Charlie Kirk's back, because he was fighting for what we are fighting for now. And I had this thing. Let me see if I can find it real quick for you guys. It was a contrast. Like, I had looked at all the different ways, aside from the obvious that we know, like, the other countries, the wars, and all of that. But there's so much more that Charlie was standing up for the real person. And I think what I had touched on when I was on with Bays is Charlie was more innocent in the sense of like, I don't want to, I'm trying to think of words I can say without YouTube, dinging me or whatever, but so with women, so, more sexually, he was more innocent as far as we know. And I believe that, actually. And he was ideological, and he had the fire in him for humanity that we have today, that we so deeply and richly need to hold on to, and to stoke that fire in one another. So what do they have? What can they take from you if they can't blackmail you? What can they take from you if they can't counsel you? And so at one time, I know there was controversy around Charlie Kirk because of something he said to about an airline pilot or whatever, but that was the worst, right? I mean, there was other things like in debates, whether, attacking his stances and all of that, the normal, typical stuff. But when they can't blackmail you and they can't cancel you, what else do they have to take? And so we've got these people standing up. So, people with possibly a checkered past, that Sean Campbell guy. Did I show you the picture? I wanted to make sure that I showed the picture of Sean Campbell so that you guys knew what he looked like. If I missed that, I'm going to see if I can throw it up again, because I actually don't think we got to the picture. So I'm going to put this back on the screen so that we can see Sean Campbell. This is the man. That's Sean Campbell. So this is Sean Campbell. I'll give you a free tip. Don't post photos of your children and their high school name on it. Considering you're a troll, you may come across an unethical hacker. Again, look, he's just calling himself what he is, who would use that information to geolocate your home. We don't even need geolocation for that these days. Read a book on OPSEC, you circus clown. My video editor at Sean Campbell is loyal and talented. He's great at what he does, and the videos he's edited for me have gone viral on social media and are making a difference. Jealousy isn't a good look on you. As a fellow Jew, you shouldn't be attacking me. We have a code. What's that code, Laura? What code do you have? So these are the people. Gary, Sean, Lisa knows, she's on TikTok. Zach Kaizen, I can't say that I've ever seen anything from him, but those are the people to look out for. And those are the one who are, and there's more than this. There's more than this who are in the network. So anyways, I wanted to make sure that we had that. And you guys could see it. Okay. So I'm fired up. I don't think you guys often see me like super fired up, but oof, I was in it today. So let's see, where are we on time, guys? I want to make sure. Let's get let's see if there's a Perez. I can't remember. I don't know how many of you were following this 2 hours ago. Just let's see real quick. How much time do we have? Yeah, Elizabeth and I will do a show together soon. But let's go. How long is this? And then let me make sure. Six o'clock. Where are we? 5:44. Okay. Here's the latest. Let's take a look. Okay. Yeah, she did. She dropped a bomb. Okay. Let's see.
Successful platform, had an incident last night.
Let's see. Let's just get the update. We know the incident.
Move from Las Vegas to Miami. We're told that when Perez was in Las Vegas, he was treated like a king.
He was living in Las Vegas.
He was living in Las Vegas. He was treated like a king. In Vegas, they would comp everything for him because he was their local celebrity. But then when he made this move to Miami recently, they don't comp like that in Miami. And we know that he had been telling some people that he was frustrated with a lot of that. It was affecting him financially. So kind of just.
So he was literally living off the comps?
I mean, it helps.
It helps.
It helps when you go to a restaurant and they, you know, put on the white gloves. They open the door for you and pay for your meal, pay for your hotels, pay for anything that you need, maybe drivers.
Okay, so they're saying he had a hard time
with the
adjusting
kids when they
to new life.
returned to the house while he was inside, because they showed up to the house after.
The kids did?
Yeah, the kid. I was told by a neighbor that the kids, and they believed, they didn't know who he was at the time, but the woman that was living with him at the house, which.
So let's see. LMG. Oh, druggy. Okay. So it's been said, and I've heard this back from 2 years ago when I really started looking at Perez because he was covering Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, is that he didn't drink or do drugs. So yeah, I'm not sure because, I mean, the reports are that he just didn't. But there was a clip of him. Who was he with? I'm trying to think of who he was with. But them talking about Satan and that they loved Satan and all of that. You know, I think kids can sometimes say stuff like that, young people, without necessarily believing it. And I don't know where he was on that. But later on, in April, he had gone in to hospitalization for sepsis is what he was saying. And he, had an infection, was in the hospital for 21 days, which to me sounds a lot like rehab. Just the time of 21 days, and that maybe they could be covering, possibly for that. But he came out really saying that he was a new man and believed in Jesus, and he was a Christian and he believed in the Bible. And so he was posting, Bible stuff. He started selling merch to help him pay for his medical bills. There are different reports saying he was worth a couple million, and there's others saying, he wasn't that well off. I don't know what the truth is behind that, but that's what's really disturbing to me is the fact of him coming, and talking about being a Christian and all of that, and then him doing what he did. So I don't know what to make of that. I have my ideas, but and I don't know what Perez was into on outside of drugs and alcohol, of what kind of lifestyle he chose to live, or the things that he did in private. But that can take an effect on people. Oh, hold on. Let's finish this and I'll finish up.
I believe is the mom. They showed up to the house when all this was going on.
Do we know what the status is with the kids? Because I would think that somebody is going to try to get some kind of guardianship at some point.
I mean, you would have to imagine it's going to be his mom.
Well, he's
who's
currently
been the one-
Baker.
But how old is his mom?
I mean, his mom, I'm not exactly, she's
in her
elderly,
70s or 80s.
but she's the one who helps him take care of the
Hold
kid.
your roll.
I mean, he's currently Baker acted right now, so that means a 72-hour self-evaluation psych hold. So she will have the kids for that period, but it's unclear if she's going to file for full guardianship.
And if she gets full custody of the kids, to the kids, it wouldn't really be anything out of the ordinary, because we know that
That
she's
she was
been in
taking care
their
of the
life
kids
since
anyway.
they were
But he also
really
has a
young.
sister, so she could possibly.
Well, see,
That's true.
how active was he with his website? Because I thought there was a time when his sister was kind of running it.
So I don't know what he actually did with the website currently, but like he basically is like an influencer now, where he has a
It's still
strong
up to
following.
date.
And I don't know if you followed him. So when he was in the hospital, he was very emotional. He came out of that and he was a wreck, which I could always see behind whatever I feel like I can see underneath of what people are saying and doing, and read the currents underneath all of that. But he was worse emotionally, as far as seeming like he was depressed in those times after his surgery, just super emotional and super raw.
On social media and will post and talk about the story. I mean, he was just talking about Ariana Grande, like
day
stepping
before.
away a day before. So
And was there any evidence of him looking distressed or?
So did you guys see the Ariana Grande video that she had come out with, that song? She was covered in blood. Like, so I haven't seen this whole video. I only saw that she had come out with this just a few days before he did what he did yesterday. So that's really interesting too.
Well,
I mean,
actually, I spoke with somebody that saw him just 2 weeks ago at an event in Miami, and they said that, recently he had found God again, and at this event he was trying to, hobnob it with the people in Miami. Again, he's trying to find his footing there, and he was very his conversations were very Jesus focused. They said he seemed fine, but one thing they did notice about him was he was very much about God in a lot of his conversations.
before he left, I know I talked to someone that before he left Vegas, they were saying that behind the scenes he was very stressed about money and really hustling and looking for different ways to make money. And they didn't know if that was due to the mounting bills from the hospital, say, or what, but that was kind of his vibe before he moved to Miami.
This is really upsetting.
Hey, Harvey, our chat is wondering, you guys got a lot of reporting. They're wondering if you guys heard from TikTok on why they allowed his video to go on for so long.
TikTok said
This
there were a
is the
lot of
thing.
people who were saying that this was going on.
So this is the thing too for me, is that TikTok didn't stop this video for 30 minutes, reportedly. 30 minutes this went on. So people are like, why didn't you take it down? I guess Facebook didn't either. So they can leave this up, but they won't they throttle and remove our posts about other countries, about wars back in the day, about COVID, about all of that stuff, but yet they're leaving things like this up. What does that tell you guys about the priorities and about the control we're under?
For 30 minutes. TikTok is saying not the case, but they got like an automatic notice something was going on.
They have moderators that moderate every single live stream.
But the moderator didn't work.
Well, what happened is that I think it kept getting crashed and then coming back on, and several other people's live streams were like combining with Perez's because they were doing some sort of collab where you can request to be on the
But what I was
same
told was
stream.
that when they realized what was going on, the moderator should have immediately taken it down, but for whatever reason that didn't
It
happen.
was on and off the entire time, but TikTok is saying any claims that it was 30 minutes period.
They said it was half that.
It was half that.
But still,
They
anybody watched
reported
it. It is shockingly upsetting.
When I first started posting about stuff over in Gaza and all of that, I couldn't even get I couldn't get my stuff up. They took it down immediately. I want to say that when people hide, so again, this is more toward Frank Turek and all of you guys, Erika Kirk, Blake Neff, God will not be mocked. And there's only so much that you can do and get away with before it really takes its toll. Like it will. Truth will find you. It always does. It's just a matter of time. Let's see what she says.
It's Shannon from Pennsylvania, and I must say that I got a glimpse of that live last night from TikTok, and I am so thankful.
So what he, what did Perez end up doing to himself? I mean, harm, but nothing permanent against, his life actually, but yeah.
That Perez had people to actually reach out to get the help that he needed to be aided. He may have had so much on his plate and his changeover from moving from one state to the next, trying to please his mom at the last stage of, her being older. And I'm so happy that he did get the help that he needed at that point. Because mental health is real, and he needed that aid because he was just sick, being in the hospital, and this is just a shocking, and I will never unsee that, what I saw on last night.
You and a lot of other people, they're saying exactly the same thing.
Developing right now.
Okay. Anyway, okay, so to get back to the story, please hit thumbs up, subscribe, hit all notifications bells, please, so that you can help boost this and keep us going and keep us visible. All of your content creators, make sure you're engaging in the comments and all of that stuff. But anyways, I think I had gotten off track in talking about Corey. So Corey's coming on the show tomorrow. So we're going to talk about tomorrow what changed. So I don't know if you guys have kept track since Candace Owens did her original reporting, but when Corey did reach out to me on Sunday, she said things have changed. So here's what I did. So back when it was reported, when Candace reported it, and I reached out to her, I also had reached out to Corby, but I had sent messages and I didn't hear back, and it was just, dead space. And so I just left it at that. So for me, a lot of times I'll trust God, if it's meant for me, then you'll bring it to me. I'm not going to push too hard. Sometimes I will, but there's other times where I'll just let it be and just let it come when it needs to. if it's supposed to. And so she reached out, and I feel like it's an important time to have this conversation about her, with her, about not only what she talked about with investigative reporting, and in that we are our only source, our resource right now for reporting like that, because it just isn't happening outside of us. But also the responsibility that we have in reporting and what that looks like. And then also there's so much. It was so in depth. I had to spoke to her for nearly 3 hours, and there was just so much to talk about and to explore with that, and really people and Victor Marx, and you know what that means, not only for his political run, but you know, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you're here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here together, and we'll be talking about all of those important things, and the things that she's found, you know, since then, or you know, that she's still working on. But for a bit. So my point is I didn't go back and follow her posts, and she had made some posts after I spoke to her. I went back and looked, and I was like, oh, okay, well, there's some things. So I like to talk to people more based on, I want to know who you are, what you think, what you feel, what you believe, and all of that, more so than I want to go research them a whole ton beforehand. I just want to talk to them, you know, in a way that I've never, you know, as if I'm just getting to know them right then. So that's how I approached our conversation. And so when she comes on with us, you'll have opportunity to ask questions, and we'll get that. I think this is tracking, and I don't want this to track. I just want it manually done. My camera was moving, and let me see. Here we go. And I didn't like that. So what time are we at, guys? Okay, we're at 6 o'clock. And so Candace is going to come on. If you guys want to stick around to do the live watch party with us, you're more than welcome to. And if not, I understand that too. If you can stream it on both, on a couple different devices, that would be even amazing if you wanted to do that. But yeah, so we stay here because we can chat about it. And I wonder, she's late tonight, and usually when she's late, it means she's got some juicy stuff. Like she's been late. Have you noticed she's been late pretty much every time since the preliminary hearing? And I know she kind of said that, like they like at the last minute try to decide what they're going to talk about and all of that. So yeah, so let's see. 6 o'clock. So anyway, she's late, and I used to just go on, like whenever she'd announce, then I'd be somewhat prepared to go on live like 30 minutes before her, so we could talk about stuff, you know, that I have my eye on and that interests me. And so now she's sort of unpredictable. She's pretty unpredictable. And I think some of the podcasting world revolves around Candace and when she's going on, because Barron usually goes on right after her. And then so he puts off his show, I know, at times. And so it looks like she's going to start, and I'm going to share my screen. Her leaked Protecting Erika group chat. Ooh, Perez Hilton's public breakdown. Okay. And add to stage. So let's go, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the heart next to the chat to let the algorithm know we're here. Engage in the comments. We're here so that we can talk, and as the show goes. During her commercials, so when her music plays, I have to mute it because YouTube wants to copyright strike the music. But then during her commercials, I'll kind of I'll put that on silent, and then we'll chat if there's something to say. But let's see what's going on, and then go hit go like and subscribe to the other people that we talked about. I may have to excuse myself for a bio break. I've been chatting a little bit. Okay, let's see. Let's look at your comments real quick here. I feel like I saw a super chat up in here. Oh, that was Bays, wasn't it? So we're talking about doing a members only with Bays and a few other people. So keep your eye out for that, because that'll be, when we talk about people who they want to expose people who are doing independent journalism because they might have a checkered past or whatever. Well, I mean, that doesn't worry me, because everybody has something. And the fact of the matter is that we're here trying to talk about truth, and whatever happened in our past is not as important as what we're doing right now. And especially, the things that they were saying about Billy Webb or Brandy Siciliani or Bays or anything like that. Those are things just to dissuade you, to make you go to, to place doubt like they do on Candace, right? But we're not going to let that sway us. So are you afraid? So tell me, are you afraid to listen to somebody who might have a little bit of a checkered past? Tell me in the comments. So I think, there's a saying that says a predictor of future behavior, your past behavior is a predictor of your future. And I don't think that's absolutely true 100% of the time. Here she goes.
All right, you guys, happy Wednesday. Sorry, I'm a little tardy. I had a sick 2-year-old in my bed last night, and he's cute, but he sleeps like a psycho, snores like an old man. Anyway, I know a lot of people today are discussing, obviously, celebrity blogger Perez Hilton this morning. Don't worry, we are not going to show you the video. I actually want to be honest with you, I haven't even watched the video because my social media guy alerted me to it last night. He said, don't watch it. And I said, okay. Then my husband said, do not watch it after he saw it. I can't even watch scary movies. I've shared that with you. I'm very spiritually sensitive to that stuff. I can hardly make it through an Erika Kirk interview. Speaking of which, in hilarious news, Piers Morgan interviewed one of her spiritual advisors, Victor Marx, the man that we interviewed. And Piers Morgan is very confused. This man who summons angels and demons into the room. Piers has sort of landed upon the same conclusion that Victor is bizarre. Keep going, Piers.
Have you guys seen this interview? I haven't seen it yet.
All of these godly, quote unquote, godly people who Erika surrounded her husband with are of a particular variety that feels anything but holy or biblical, despite the words that come out of their mouth, despite all of the pretenses. Anyway, we have a lot to cover today, so let's get into it. Welcome back to Candace.
Uh-oh, I gotta hit mute here real fast. Okay, so I'm just hitting mute for this part. And then when it's done, ta-da.
Okay, before we get into this Perez Hilton story, quick update for you guys on Officer Bagley, which may or may not be interesting, given the recurring themes that we've been talking about in the Charlie Kirk assassination story. We learned that Officer Bagley, while he was employed by the Utah County Sheriff's Office, so that was actually his last place of employment before he began working for UVU. He worked for Utah County Sheriff's Office. But specifically, he worked in the sex crimes detective unit. So I'm pointing that out because I have been continually underlining that theme across the board. Various decoys like George Zinn, arrested for child pornography. Seems like he was put up for this job of saying, I did it. The guy who jumped up and started that chant, USA, USA. He goes by David Sprague, but he actually changed his name. It used to be James Rawlinson. He confessed to me that his father got mixed up in crimes against children and some sex abuse crimes against children. I also had shared with you in the past, maybe you don't remember, that I strongly suspect that Mike Mitchell, who is very central to the story, the former undercover cop who was Tyler Robinson's Boy Scouts leader, who told him, they're gonna arrest you either way, and convinced him to sort of turn himself in or have the SWAT bang down your door. Well, as a reminder, we were able to find an undercover detective who was involved in Utah with Cyber Sex Crime Unit by that same name, Michael Mitchell, but we haven't been able to confirm with absolute certainty that it is the same Mike Mitchell. But I think it is, because we don't really know what he did for the police. And usually that means you're undercover. And if you're doing internet crimes, yeah, I'll tell you one thing, why this really matters. And we've had that spreadsheet for you is because obviously when you are dealing with sex crimes over the internet, cyber sex crimes, you will find a hub of feds, and feds do turn would-be criminals into assets. You catch them touching the wrong link, and here are your choices. You can either do this for us, or you can spend the rest of your life with the whole world knowing you're a pedophile. These circumstances have happened in the past many times over. And so again, I'm entering that tidbit because it might be relevant down the line. Now, I had already been wondering aloud about whether some people were blackmailed into certain activity, and I'm going to continue to wonder aloud about that, give myself permission to think while it's still legal. I also really wanted to get together a little list. I will keep building on this. You know, I love a list for, just us to remind ourselves of everything that we were initially told about this case, the influencers that came out and told us they were overwhelmed with evidence that has thus far been proven false or entirely unverifiable. We were told, wait until the preliminary hearing. I was told that actually by Erika herself, saying, this is her lawyer. This is when we gather all the evidence. Then at the preliminary hearing, we have a chance to present that evidence and the public will know much more. Well, it's just important to pause and reflect and to recognize that from beginning up until this point, we have just been lied to. They have proven actually nothing. They continually call us the conspiracy theorists. They are the conspiracy theorists, actually. We are fully in the throes of trust the science of Tyler Robinson. Just trust that it's him, but we don't have to supply any proof. So here's just a little brief list of things that I'm putting together. And like I said, we will continue to grow this, but we were told that Tyler's father turned him in. I have disputed this from the very beginning. I was the first person to say that is not true. I had a source and it was solid that actually he was pressured into coming in and told that he had no other option or they were going to bang down his door. When we were told that, don't forget the Bill Ackman narrative in the background. Bill Ackman, this was such a prevalent narrative in the mainstream that Bill Ackman tweeted that he was going to award this brave badge if you have to turn in your own son $1 million, which added to this myth and this lore of Tyler Robinson's father turning him in. And that has been determined to be a lie. I'm not saying Bill Ackman lied. He could have been responding to the lie. But what I'm saying is I believe Andrew Colbert admitted that Bill Ackman did not give him $1 million. And Matt Robinson, his father, did not turn him in. They just kind of are moving on from that point. It didn't happen. We were also told that there is a video of Tyler Robinson taking the shot in 4K by the influencers. That is a lie. I proved to you that was a lie. They're now moving the goalpost and pretending that they never said it. There is no video of any person taking the shot. Actually, doesn't exist. Major lie. Tyler Robinson, another thing that we were told, and or his lover at various times are transgendered. That's a lie. Tyler Robinson is not transgendered. I told you that very early on. His lover, Lance, is not transgendered. And the furry culture, it's very difficult to explain, but that is supposed to exist as an avatar of some game player or someone in game world that reminds you of yourself. And I am told by people in the game world that Luna is a very popular character because they're sort of like antisocial. And I don't know, they were explaining to me who Luna is, the very popular character in that world. And who's going to account for that lie? Who's going to come forward and admit that they just sort of made that up? I don't know. We were similarly told in that same vein, the reason why that lie was so crucial was that this was a politically motivated crime. Tyler Robinson, the whole text messages reflect some hate just can't be negotiated. I got to do this. Charlie, I had to take my shot. Charlie Kirk is here. That's crucial. That's the motive. We were told that it was because of Charlie Kirk's stance on LGBTQ issues, least of the things that he is known for. Yeah. Truly, least of the things that Charlie Kirk is known for. If this was like, Matt Walsh during What is a Woman documentary, that might make sense. But Charlie Kirk, no, that's not what people, when you think of Charlie Kirk, you don't think of transgendered issues. We know where he stands on it, but that's not his claim to fame. Then suddenly the boyfriend, Lance, testifies that he's never spoken to him about LGBTQ issues. So I guess for the first time, he spoke to him about it after he killed Charlie Kirk via text message. Again, it's a very serious lie that has now been debunked because it means the motive has evaporated. The political motive has evaporated. He said they didn't even speak about politics. He had never mentioned the name Charlie Kirk to him, ever. Where's their motive now? We were told that there is footage of Tyler Robinson assembling the rifle on the roof. That is a lie. There is no footage of Tyler Robinson assembling the rifle on the roof. Blake Neff tweeted this the other day. He's lying through his teeth. He's lying through that bald head. Okay? Doesn't exist. Then he kind of tried to edit and say, well, we can deduce. We can deduce? We can deduce that somebody assembled a rifle on the roof? No, we can't deduce that. Is there footage, yes or no? The answer is no. It was a lie. We were told that there was clear footage of Tyler Robinson's car on campus. That is thus far unproven. It would remain a mystery as to if there was that footage, why they wouldn't have presented at the preliminary hearing. What we have been presented with is blurry footage of a car that resembles Tyler Robinson's car. He's not the only person in Utah or in the United States or in the world that drives that particular vehicle in that car, in that color. So that is thus far unproven, but we'll be open to maybe they just didn't want to present it at the preliminary hearing. We were told Tyler Robinson was suicidal. That is a lie. I told you that was a lie from the very beginning. He was not suicidal. In fact, he was so not suicidal that he agreed to turn himself in, or rather to walk in peaceably. You have no other choice. That's what they told him. He agreed to go in peaceably rather than subject himself to the possibility of an accidental death by SWAT team banging down his door. They just moved on from that. We were told that Tyler Robinson's gun was officially tied to the bullet fragment that was recovered in Charlie's autopsy. That's a lie. The ATF was very clear. That's why the influencer started pretending. They were kind of trying to shroud the ATF testimony. That's my belief of why they went so hard on the last day, because that ATF testimony was so crucial and very carefully explained that they gave a range. She gave a range of what these metal fragments, of which really only one of them could be tested, a range of what sort of weapons it could fit into. And in fact, it didn't cover a 30-06. It didn't cover a 30-06 if you pay attention to that testimony. She almost debunked the idea entirely, in my view, that this was tied to Tyler Robinson's gun whatsoever. We were told Tyler Robinson's gun had DNA all over it. And I'm going to call that a lie by severe omission, because every time they said this in the public, they refused to say, but 5 other sets of prints minimally were also found on the gun. And they refused to say that Tyler's are the most degraded. Tyler's prints are the most degraded of all the prints that were found on this gun. That is a severe lie by omission to continually say they found his prints on a gun and not admit that 5 other sets were found, of which one were owned by his father and the other by Lance. Lance Twiggs and Hunt. Why are Lance's fingerprints on this family heirloom? And I am going to count this next one as a lie by severe omission, that Terrell Farnsworth immediately turned over the footage to police. I'm going to call that a lie by severe omission because Terrell Farnsworth we watched him take out an SD card. And actually what the police were given was not an SD card. They were given a hard drive, right? A USB file. So why? When was that transferred? That feels relevant to me. You can give an SD card to the feds. You don't need to be like, well, let me get this onto a USB or a hard drive. No, this tells me that it is plausible that footage was edited, zoomed in perhaps, as Nisi pointed to, and then given to the feds for some reason, because a zoomed in image would not show you what was happening on the ground beneath. I'm not sure. But these are a lot of very severe lies that they're now just kind of moving on from. What exactly, I guess this is my question, what exactly in the narrative thus far, which has been presented to us, to the public, what are we supposed to find convincing? Because I want you to remember that in order to secure a murder conviction, you have to move a jury beyond a reasonable doubt, to secure a murder conviction. So to our detractors, which there are many, I ask sincerely, name one piece of evidence that has been entered into the public domain that you feel demonstrates that Tyler Robinson did this beyond a reasonable doubt. Because as we were going through this as a team, we were like, all they're left with right now is a text message confession, right? That's really kind of it. These were taken, a text message confession, which the police took from Lance's phone. Mind you, Lance should be a suspect in this. His prints are everywhere. He had access to all of Tyler's belongings. He says his alibi is I was sleeping. Okay. He's being protected by the feds. Like I said, he seems like an asset. Maybe they found him online doing some weird stuff. And those messages were presented without any timestamps. We don't know why that is. And also it happens to be that when Lance's phone was photographed by the police, it was conveniently broken. Take a look here in the top left corner, right where we would be able to discern what time it was when the police took that. Their story is, oh, he came in on the night of the 10th, or maybe it's the 11th. I mean, we spoke to him. Well, it would be great if we could look at that time, but that he happened to break his phone, like stab it right in the corner where the time is. So we don't get to guess or know when the feds actually took photos of those messages. We also saw testimony in court that the police moved to use an Israeli tech firm to extract the messages. Cellbrite, it's called, an Israeli forensic tech firm to extract those messages. Now, I don't know if it matters to them, but we all kind of think Israel killed Charlie Kirk.
We
just based on
kind
the
of do.
actions and the mood of the Israeli government leaders, Bibi Netanyahu, and their plethora of Zionist supporters throughout the United States. They're obsessed with lying about the Charlie Kirk case. They just have to lie about the Charlie Kirk case. They have to try to debunk everything immediately. It's giving us the vibe that they could be guilty. So yeah, we'd rather not trust an Israeli tech firm to extract messages that do not sound at all as though they were written by a native English speaker. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. It sounds to me like someone using Google Translate, right? There are little idiosyncrasies in language that I'll give you. When I learned Spanish, okay, I remember like, okay, I know how to say to drink, beber, beber, B-E-B-E-R, beber.
I have to say, to me, it sounds like it was 3 different people.
But actually, they don't use beber ever. No, everywhere you go, they use tomar, which is like to take. They say toma, like you take. So if you say beber, like if I put that into Google Translate, I want to drink, it's going to give me beber. And if I go and I then present those as text messages, Spanish people are going to clock you in 4 seconds and say, this is not a native Spanish, this is not a native Spanish speaker at all. Beber, we don't say beber, but it means to drink. Yeah, but we don't say that. In Tyler Robinson's text messages, we, actual American English speakers, we don't say pooch and bad sniffer in casual language. I actually looked that up. Actually, like sniffer is Ukrainian. There's like a show.
And it's
called The Sniffer. Ukrainian show. It's totally crazy. We don't use that stuff in casual language. This is somebody who does not know how we speak. And it is, of course, entirely plausible that someone gained access to Tyler Robinson's iCloud. Maybe someone like his boyfriend gave access to his iCloud and someone sent text messages from a different location. All of that remains to be seen because don't forget, Tyler's legal team, despite reasonable protestations, were not granted their discovery requests leading up to the preliminary hearing, okay? They testified that they had not even been given access to their client's phone when they were requesting an extension. They were going, well, how are we doing this hearing? We don't have anything. We can't even vet anything that you're putting on the stand. You're just going to allow hearsay? Yeah, we're going to allow hearsay. That's what happened. Those text messages have not been vetted yet. Now, in addition to this, the public is noticing that the victim on this case, Erika Kirk, is inviting influencers into the courtroom. That doesn't make us think she's telling the truth, especially because the influencers are lying. They have lied repeatedly to the masses. They get caught and they just keep lying as if their lives and livelihood depend on it. On top of that, her organization, which she took over in her husband's stead, Turning Point USA, is contracting the services of and platforming people who are meant to lie about this investigation full time. It's their full-time job to attack Candace. I don't know if you happen to catch this, but over on X right now, it's trending. A group of 92 influencers have been exposed,
92.
targeting me. Exposed, coordinating in a group chat. The group was brought together by an agent of Israel, no doubt, in the past, before Charlie was assassinated, that this person hosted a Spaces on X and went on record admitting that they gather intel, they collaborate with Green Berets. They collaborated with a Daily Wire employee, Cassie Akiva, the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, then run by Johnny Moore, to create files on people for the purpose of doing Israel's PR bidding. At that time, it was about what's happening in Gaza. And they were going after someone who Tucker Carlson had on his show. So, of course, the common sense question is, why is someone who focuses on PR for Israel focused on gathering 91 other people to attack me full-time over the Charlie Kirk case? Okay, I'll show you this. The group chat got exposed because a member of the group went rogue and was like, I'm done with this. This is no longer healthy for me. Here is what she said over 2 tweets. Shady Lady Katie wrote, coordinated efforts are coming from some of these people. Here are all of the names who were in this group chat. I'm sharing information, background checks, reporting accounts, whining and complaining all day about Candace Owens, and even sharing Candace's own home address in this group chat. However, I will say that not everyone here participated. Some just lurked. Anyway, I am out of here. X is a digital, unfruitful wasteland, and I have a real life and SHIT to do. Go live your lives and build something. And she exposed 92 members in this group chat, which has the name Protecting Mrs. Kirk. Protecting Mrs. Kirk. And now some of these names are not, we know this is their full, I blocked them because it's just their full, it's obvious it's their full-time job to attack me. Milk Bar TV, No Soup for Knowles, Paramount Not So Tactical, Brie Dale, Fake Catholic, Insurrection Barbie, you know, just block. It's not even worth my time. Like, it's just the most obvious operation in the world. Nice to see it. Nice to go through these, and you should go through these 92 absolute losers who are losing despite doing this. I don't coordinate. I'm not on any group chats with 92 operatives, 10 operatives, 6 operatives, 2 operatives. I don't do this. I work with my team. I look for information. I may, reach out obviously to people who are also care about this case. Baron Coleman, hey, did you see this video? Give him a call. Did you find this? Did you cover this topic? He'll tell me what he knows. No one's coordinating to take down Erika Kirk. We're just coordinating to figure out who killed Charlie Kirk. And for some reason, these people find it to be synonymous with taking down Erika Kirk. I wonder why that is. So that's the question. Why does it take 92 operatives online coordinating, sharing my personal information, utterly psychotic, okay? My home address. Why are they obsessed with the takedown of Candace Owens? Well, the answer is because they know that I know. They know that I know, okay? We got another bizarre request today, this time from the Daily Mail. Charlie Spearing, the one who worked on the, trust us, bro. Charlie definitely wanted Erika to take over the company because I watched the video, the author of that, the Aspen. I watched it so you don't have to, guy. He wrote this to us today. We have sources who believe that Candace is being used by foreign operatives sending misinformation through her tip line. It is part of a much broader network. Really? Foreign operatives sending me the video of the rooftop? Foreign operatives sending me what? Like the pictures of the inside of the car? Take 1, take 2, everything that I've exposed. What do you feel like came from a foreign operative? Why do you think the truth is coming from foreign operatives? I don't work with foreign operatives. This is a real network of people who are dedicating their time to wanting to learn and know what happened to Charlie Kirk. I mean, deep down, we all have a sense that the state murdered Charlie Kirk. That clearly it must have had Trump's permission because he's doing nothing to try to get to the bottom of what happened to his dear friend who helped to get him elected twice. And we sense Israel's involvement. That's what's happened. There's no foreign operatives that are working on this case. So yeah, the real issue is that they know that I know. They're desperate now, growing increasingly desperate and manic. We want FBI raids, anything. But I'm sorry, guys. It's all inevitable. Okay? It is inevitable. You are figuratively walking a plank. Charlie was betrayed. You can't spin that. Speaking of which, I have a question for Blakey Neff. Public challenge. Just one question, Blake. Let's see if you can remember. Oh, so transparent one. You, Danny Phillip, Mikey McCoy, and Nate Walker all walked into Timpanogos Hospital together. My question for you is simple. Did you all travel there together? Did all four of you arrive at Timpanogos Hospital in the same car? Yes or no? I'm asking for a reason. Another question, and that's regarding Nate Walker, because look, what a new thing, like to be just a new assistant, the one who supplied Charlie Kirk with that Freedom t-shirt. The internet has taken notice, and we would appreciate a clarification on his movements before the explosive goes off, because he's a young assistant, and at around 12:15, he has his bag, as assistants do. I've done many of these events, and he's been speaking with Dan Flood, and this is around 12:15. I'm going to show you that. You can see he's wearing a bright blue shirt in the corner there. That's him talking. You could just catch him with his bag that's pointing. And then what happens after that, Dan's obviously talking into his shirt. Then Nate, with, I guess we're less than T minus 10 before the explosive goes off, suddenly he's upstairs when that happens. This is him immediately following the explosive, around 12:25. So about, I guess, a minute and 45 seconds afterward. Here he is up near the Flag of Halls walkway, putting on sunglasses, and he doesn't have his bag.
Ooh.
Here he comes.
Well, look at that.
And then we find him 2 minutes beyond that walking downstairs. So people have questions, and I think it's a pretty fair thing. You know, the public cares about Charlie. Why did he go upstairs? What was, maybe he went up there. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Dan Flood asked him to go up there to check on something. I don't know. We don't need to make up a narrative. We don't need to speculate. But we are asking for a specific reason. Anyway, I will leave that at that. I want to get into this Perez Hilton story. I guess, you know what we should probably do. I didn't realize that I've already been going here for 30 minutes. Let's take a quick break, and then let's cover Perez Hilton. All right, you guys, I want to pass along a heartfelt thank you from my friends over at Preborn. Their president.
Wow. So it'll be interesting to find out what the sleuths do. I know they will look at that picture. You know, I have friends who they run faces through facial recognition and can find these people. I'm not that kind of researcher yet. I don't even know what tools they use. But anyways, we will see more about that. No doubt. What do you think? Do you think they had something to do with it? So this is one of the things that Baze and I had talked about on his stream is our responsibility reporting when we have people in videos or in pictures like that. Do we dox them or out them or whatever? So, and I think there are some times when we can do that and we're just sort of like kind of maybe grasping or whatever. In this case, I feel like this guy may be a key, maybe a key. And so in this instance, I mean, she's not putting his name out there or anything. She's just saying like, look, let's go and look at this guy. And I think we need to keep looking at that. And we need to actually look more at the people in tech, because Charlie was a voice, and I think he would all of these things go hand in hand. What's happening in other countries, AI, tech, all of this is like they're all linked together and they're tightly knit with TPUSA because they're the propaganda arm of the Uniparty. And so I don't know. I think it's important. You guys think he has something to do with it? I think he may. So I was trying to, as we were watching this, I ran out of prompts on chat because I wanted to get a PDF and show you guys this certain thing. So I'll have to bump up my subscription so that I can get more prompt time with chat. Anyways, Jamie says yes. Yeah, I can tell there's something good coming soon. We uncovered a gold mine this morning. Yeah. Sadly, yes, they have to be in on it. Big tech policies, darn it, reload the rest. And yeah, I mean, they have to be in on it. They really do. There's no way they can do this without big tech. There's just absolutely no way. And so I'm doing my research into that. So here she is back.
The video has fortunately been removed from the internet. Of course, you can find it in various pockets, but at least there is some sort of an honest attempt to remove the video across social media. But Perez Hilton, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him for my international listeners because I obviously do not expect that he made it across the pond. So he is a gay celebrity blogger who really came up in the early 2000s. You could actually argue that he sort of pioneered celebrity blogging in the time and the land before social media. He did it in a way, however, that I should make clear was very vicious and very mean, right? He would cover celebrities throughout their addictions, eating disorders, their relationships, if they were, struggling with anorexia, if they were in rehab, if they were begging for privacy. There was like no place that he wouldn't go. There was nothing he would not publish onto his blog. And he would also include these gratuitous illustrations of these celebrities to suggest, as an example, that they were addicted to cocaine, like a little white scribble beneath their nose, so to speak, to imply that these people were on drugs. It was incredibly invasive to many celebrities who were many of them extremely young at the time of his publications and dealing with their own insecurities, obviously being in the public eye. They would eventually speak out about how his targeting and bullying contributed to their self-hatred or their self-harm. And to be clear, I want to really stress he was vicious. He would call people ugly, fat, give them nicknames, and they would sort of, I think a lot of them were like permanently damaged from this. One of them being Khloe Kardashian, who has changed her face many times. He really targeted her and referred to her as a transvestite over and
Britney
over again.
Spears.
Also, there was this massive scandal. To give you an idea of who he was, he posted an upskirt photo of Miley Cyrus, who was then just 17 years old, right? That's the kind of stuff that he would do. And when he was interviewed about it, he would just be like, oh, it's not my fault that like, whatever, this is what the public is interested in. And these celebrities know what they're doing. She's 17 years old. Like, this is not a person that you should be publishing. Now, of course, because it was like sort of the dawn of this, and people maybe always wondered how celebrities lived and wanted to know about these celebrities, it just completely launched him. It actually gave him so much power in Hollywood. Celebrities actually sought his friendship. So you can see he's hanging out with A-listers because he just wanted to be on his good side. It was almost like a form of social blackmail in a way, because you didn't want to end up with him tracking you. So it's like Lady Gaga. I mean, he was hosting wild parties with A-list celebrities because people basically wanted to end up on his good list. That's kind of the Perez Hilton phenomena in a nutshell. Now, in 2010, he did a total rebrand, and he offered this public apology saying that he wanted to change his trajectory, wanted to change his ways, no longer play a part in the industry of bullying that he really built. And he tried to flip his brand by appearing on Ellen DeGeneres' talk show. And here's what he said.
So when you asked to be here, I got to say a lot of people have said it's not a good idea and advised me against it and said, why would you want to do that? I believe in giving people second chances. And you said you want to change, and a lot of people don't believe you. But if you say you want to change and you want to, I think it takes a big person to look at themselves and say, I've done wrong and I want to change. So I want to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, you know, over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been doing everything I can to bring awareness to the issue of the teen suicides and gay bullying. And in doing so, a lot of people have called me a hypocrite and a bully myself, and a big one. And that's not how I want to be perceived, and that's not what I want to put out there into the world. And it was a big wake-up call that so many people saw me that way. So, you know, from now on, I really want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. I want to be the change that I want to see in others. So I'm going to do things differently on my website than I have in the past. I'm not going to call people nasty nicknames. I'm not going to go the mean route. I'm going to force myself to try and be funnier or smarter or just do things differently, not doodle inappropriate things, not out people, which I have done all of those things in the past.
That's right. So yeah, he had a lot of power in Hollywood. Some people were not buying this rebrand, especially people who were impacted by the stuff that he did. Khloe Kardashian being one of them. She came out and was like, this is nice, but no, like you know, really damaged me. Now, I should mention here, the reason why some people weren't buying this was because at the same time of his attempted rebrand came the dawn of social media. So his relevancy was sort of naturally fading. The paparazzi culture of the 2000s, he benefited from that tremendously. It changed with smartphones, right? Everyone suddenly became the paparazzi. This wasn't like unique capture, and celebrity culture transformed. So this was kind of like the Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie phase.
So he did this even more rebranded when the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively lawsuit came about, and he went through and did apologies again a couple years ago.
That he enjoyed the boom of, and then that sort of went away. I'm just telling you guys that on background because, like I said, I'm sure he didn't make his way across the pond. People don't know who this guy is or why he's trending. But he really did build an empire of sleaze, and he embraced it until he didn't. Now, on the personal side of things, you should know that Perez, as a gay single man in the new social media era, made this decision also to have children via surrogacy. He's single. This is becoming an increasingly controversial topic. Gay men using surrogacy, not having another parent in their lives. He chose to have 3 children, one in 2013, one in 2015, and one in 2017. 1 boy and 2 girls. So he is a single father, which is important as we get into what happened last night. Okay. These children do not have another parent, is what I'm stressing to you. So over recent months, it's been clear that he is going through something. Like, I mean, on March 23rd, he posted videos of himself from a hospital bed and said he almost died from severe sepsis and infections. He claimed that it started with the flu, but he didn't take his medications with food like he was supposed to. So he then developed an ulcer that eventually perforated. He was hospitalized for 3 weeks and had emergency surgery. And then he said that because he was so close to death, he found God, and then he started sort of hawking these Christian t-shirts online, and, you know, people either accepted that or thought that this was a new grift, one or the other. Now, yesterday what happened, and I made, like I said, Skylar watched this video last night, so I didn't have to. My husband watched this video, so I didn't have to. I have sensitive eyes and ears. But in the video, which ran live on TikTok, Perez Hilton was fully naked, drenched in blood, with multiple cuts all over his body, and he was cutting himself. He can be seen making cuts with a knife all over his body, and he's completely out of it. He's on video, and he's saying things like, I am doing this for my children. He's looking out of the window, recognizing that the police are here, saying, shoot me, you know, mother foes, mother F words, you know what I'm trying to say there. And what happened was the update came from NBC. Obviously, they took him gratefully, peaceably, and they hospitalized him after this live stream. He was doing this on a live stream on TikTok, I should mention. And the police said that they responded to his Miami area home of the celebrity blogger and podcaster Perez Hilton after they received reports that he engaged in self-harm in a live streamed video Tuesday night. A spokesperson for the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office said in an email that the deputies responded to reports of someone who was live streaming acts of self-harm on social media. In a follow-up statement, the sheriff's office said that the person was safely recovered and taken by Miami-Dade Fire Rescue to a local hospital where he was receiving medical attention. It said that deputies spoke to the family members at the scene who confirmed the person had been alone inside the residence, so his kids were not there. The video, which was streamed on TikTok before the platform pulled it, appeared to show Hilton covered in blood with visible cuts, holding a knife. And in the video, viewers pleaded with him and asked for his phone number so that they could alert authorities. And they note that he's a single father with 3 children born via surrogacy, and he moved back to Miami after living in Las Vegas for 3.5 years. Now, I want to share my personal opinion on this. I think Perez Hilton is on drugs. I do. It's an opinion, not a fact, obviously. But as soon as I heard about this, as soon as I heard about the sepsis thing, there was just something about it that felt to me like he is in the throes of a drug addiction. And obviously there is a deeper irony to that, given how he built his career. But there's been just a lot of changes in his life, moving back into his mother's house, I believe is accurate. He's living with his mother. His mother's raising his kids. That indicate to me that he's on some sort of a spiral, and not something to be made fun of. I don't think that's funny. That's just my genuine opinion, is that you're looking at somebody who has demons, and that he could have been in some sort of a drug-induced psychosis when this went on. He was also saying how he doesn't like himself. And, a lot of that is because Hollywood in general, the broader picture here is that we now have confronted the reality that sort of glamour and glitter of what we thought Hollywood was has fallen. We don't have the same opinion as we had about celebrities back in the early 2000s. There's something about them that they felt so shiny. And now we realize that these people are crazed, dealing with their own issues, many of them drug addicts, many of them involved in pedophilia. I'm not talking about Perez Hilton. I'm talking about what we've learned about Hollywood, and many of them controlled by agents. We've seen now, so many of them try to speak out. We saw what happened to Britney Spears. We saw what happened to Kanye West. We saw what happened to Michael Jackson. And of course, just what I've learned, how Hollywood was set up. Truly, it was meant to be a cult. It's meant to be demonic. It was meant to draw people away from the church and into the cathedrals of theater. These people are performers, and their idea is to attract the masses to presentations about whether it's history. You watch a movie, you think it's real. The whole idea is that Hollywood was meant to drive us into it almost like it was psychoanalytical, right? They created Hollywood because they wanted to control what we think. It was meant to be a brainwashing technique, so to speak. When you get into Sigmund Freud and you get into PR and propaganda, that's what Hollywood is. At its core, it's propaganda. And they wanted us to really sort of have this form of pagan belief in these celebrities as something to be worshipped. And it worked. It worked. I would say in my younger years, I was just, oh my gosh, Christina Aguilera. Oh my gosh, these people are amazing. I would do anything to meet Christina Aguilera. That was supposed to be the magic trick. And
now it's moved into politics because they're using Hollywood in politics. I think they always have, but even more so in this administration and TPUSA. If you guys have not watched my trailer, I don't know if I took it down. I'll have to put it up because we're going to be interviewing with Z Cohen Sanchez with Unfuck America about a lot of this stuff too. So anyways, I digress. Let's get back to Candace.
I think that now we have seen that illusion fade, and the fall, so to speak, or the current fall of Perez Hilton sort of represents that moment. But here's what I want to warn about that. When something falls, and I'm referring to Hollywood more broadly, not specifically Perez Hilton, something has to rise to take its place. And I sense so deeply that same occult worship, that same shiny, new, fake veneer drawing the youth in is what we are watching right now with the rise of this fake Christian grift that is happening. Yeah. It is exactly what it feels like. It's Hollywood all over again, but this time it's going to be biblical. The same players are involved. People that were in reality TV are now pretending that they can't get a sentence out without referring to the Lord. It is so much for me what I see happening with Turning Point USA. Like, this is it. This is supposed to be the new Hollywood. This is the plan. They're supposed to get your children. They want to be inside of the high schools, and you're supposed to look the other way and go, well, this isn't bad. Like, maybe your parents were okay with you watching TRL when you got home, whatever. If this is just culture, now they're saying this isn't culture. This is actually God. And that's really scary. It's the same paganism that is found, and they try to protect it and say, you can't question it now because we are giving it a new veneer. And this veneer is that it's godly. And we know scripture. And we're not going to address the fact that at, Turning Point USA events, they're having gay orgies, and that this person is cheating on this person is sleeping with this person, an unbelievable amount of gay men that work at Turning Point USA, that they are working behind the scenes with the same PR agents, the same vicious crisis PR firms that employed Hollywood is now employing these groups like Turning Point USA, is now employing these influencers that are targeting your children. That is something that you have to pay attention to. Hollywood is falling and something else is rising to take its place. And in my honest opinion, it's more sadistic because it is targeting people through faith. And I just wanted to say that when I watched this, it's like a new dawn, a new chapter. I do wish, obviously, Perez Hilton, I hope he gets better. I hope he truly finds God and that he gets over whatever it is. And the first way that you're going to get over any spiritual demon that you're dealing with, that's why I do think this is a form of possession, is to be radically honest in your life. Like, you need to be radically honest with what it is that you're going through. And I don't think he is being honest with what it is that he's going through. And beyond anything else, pray for his children. It is in a very unfortunate situation. I don't know that I would live in Miami if this is what I was living with or going through. And yeah, I just wanted to make people aware of that. Hollywood is falling, but the occult is not going away. A perfect segue, by the way, into Victor Marx, one of Erika's spiritual advisors. We all get the ick. We all know something's wrong. It's like we listen to Frank Turk. We just go, this doesn't feel godly, but you keep telling me it is. Well, Piers Morgan interviewed Victor Marx and tweeted that it was one of the most bizarre interviews of his career. Yeah. Well, what's funny about this is Piers Morgan has been hosting people
I have to
attacking
watch
me
that
as he
before
always
tomorrow.
does, saying I'm wrong. Erika's the widow. He always accepts the slop up in the beginning, and then a year on, he admits that I was right. And so watching him react to Victor Marx is like, this is the door, Piers. This is what we're saying. TPUS faith is something else. What Erika brought in around Charlie is something else. And we noticed, and I want to show you this clip of Piers Morgan questioning Victor Marx on, just some details about his childhood that he also shared with us on this show. Take a listen.
I mean, if you're 3 years old, though, how are you cutting a cat's head off? That requires a strength, which I've got 3 sons. None of them would have had the strength at 3 years old or the dexterity to cut a cat's head off. How have you done that? That's what people are finding a little bit suspicious.
I understand if you put your hand around your son's hand on the knife of a dead cat, could you not cut the head off of it? It wasn't me.
No, I would say with great difficulty.
Have you?
I haven't done it, no. This leads me to probably the most contentious story, which is that when you were 7, the same abusive stepfather forced you to kill a man. Now, local law enforcement and sheriffs in the Mississippi area where this event apparently took place have said there are no records, police reports, or unsolved homicides matching your account from that time period. So just to be clear, what exactly do you say happened here? Who was the man? How did you kill him?
Well, I didn't murder anyone because I was a 7-year-old who was forced to shoot a person. My stepfather, again, holding my hand around a pistol to a man who was handcuffed and on his knees, put his finger over the trigger and pushed it until the man was shot. I don't know who he was. Best I can remember, he looked like a homeless fellow.
So you've no idea where this happened or who the person was. I mean, you can see why people might be saying, come on, Victor, this really happened? Let me put it to you a different scenario, which is, and I don't want you to be offended by this, I'm just putting it to you because I know it's something that can be a phenomenon, where people, you said that these revelations have come out very later in your life. A lot of people, when they've suffered abuse or trauma or whatever it may be, their mind can play games with them. It can, persuade them. And I'm not saying this has happened, but many people find some of these claims outlandish, that perhaps your mind is playing games and that these incidents didn't actually happen, but that because of your abuse, you have persuaded yourself that they may have done. Is that a possibility?
Well, I studied, and the answer is it's possible. I mean, I studied false memories and had 123 visits to a trauma specialist. This is nothing that I wanted to go back to, but it's something that was still affecting my life. And, we live in a very evil world.
Yeah, it's possible he made everything up. I'm glad he got to that point. It's definitely possible he made everything up. And yeah, like I said, Piers, keep going, because we've done a lot of work on this, and he's not the only one that maybe has false memories. Everything about Erika's past, you start looking into it and you're just falling through a dark hole. Everything she presented herself to be to Charlie and you just want us to let it go. This is who she was bringing around. This is the first person who we got Erika home, greeted her in Charlie's apartment, crying, sharing across Instagram. You're looking at Turning Point USA faith, and they want access to children. They're all wacky. They're all crazy pastors. So you got Frank Turek signaling that I should be struck down, using the Bible, the good Bible, of course, to do it. Yeah, keep going, Piers. I think eventually you will start to realize why people have a lot of questions about the faith push that Erika brought to Charlie through Turning Point USA. Anyway, we are going to take a brief break and we will be right back. All right, you guys, have you ever felt like you are searching for real spiritual?
Yeah. So, does Victor not, does anybody not get the ick from Victor here? Because, that's one of the things one of the things I was talking about, with Corey, and that, we've discussed other times in other places, is that people aren't all evil, right? Even Candace has talked about that. Like, it's not just some people are more than evil than others, but some evil people can still do good things. And even like Erika Kirk, maybe she's doing good things, but that's only, in my opinion, that's only to cover the things that they are actually doing behind the scenes. So there's no time at all, even before Candace came out with this. I used to live in Colorado, as many of you guys know who have been here for a while. And so I was interested in who was running. And there has not been a time when I've seen that man and my skin hasn't crawled. Now, some people say he's really, charismatic, and he's this and he's that. And probably in person, it's even worse. They say the same thing about Donald Trump, but they also said the same thing about Satan. He was, an angel, he was disguised to look like this beautiful angel. He was a beautiful angel, but what's behind that? So not to get overly spiritual on you all, and I am a Christian and I, am a believer, but that's facts and that's true. Okay, she's back.
Articulate why they think Tyler Robinson did it, and they keep accusing us of being the people that are going off of vibes when actually they are the conspiracy theorists. They're going off of vibes. You can't just look at a blurry image and be like, that's Tyler Robinson. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. You have to show some evidence of something, make something make sense. And yeah, like I said, using influencers to lie to the public is actually just increasing the amount of people who generally find you and your behavior to be suspicious. It's like it's having the opposite desired effect. So maybe a time to switch game plans there. Second comment, this person writes, Blake Neff's anger single-handedly makes the entire TPUSA look completely guilty. Yeah, it's crazy that they keep allowing him to have a platform. I don't see what the upside of that is. Like, was that promised to him that he was going to take over Charlie Kirk's show or something? I just don't get it. It's so abysmal. It like hurts them, and you wonder who is doing their PR because it is just so misguided, and it just catalyzes their descent into chaos. Like, it doesn't make any sense to the public what they're doing, why they're doing it, or why they think that by spending enough money or hosting these people, they're going to be able to convince people not to believe their own eyes and their own ears. I also want to offer an update. Yesterday, when I was talking about the burial, I was a bit uneducated when I said that I believed that you were not allowed to be cremated as a Catholic. Somebody sent me an email and reminded me, or actually informed me, that actually under Novus Ordo, so that is sort of the 60s update, actually, yes, there is a document which discusses, and beginning in the 60s, I think in 1963, you are allowed to be cremated under certain circumstances. And so the person linked that. So I want to issue that correction and also plead ignorance, because I told you guys that when I was baptized Catholic, it was done in the traditional Latin rites. My priest everything is Latin rites, Latin rites. It is not, I attend Latin mass. I don't know enough about Novus Ordo is what I would say. And so I always want to correct when I get something wrong. And that was, yeah, you were correct on that. I looked that up, and sorry, that's why I don't speak too much on Catholic affairs, because I'm still learning and I would be the most uneducated about Novus Ordo. So there's that. Comments from today's episode. True Detective writes, after Charlie Kirk's murder, I watched a video of him saying that he wants to be remembered for the courage of his faith. This led me to enroll in OCIA and be baptized in the Roman Catholic Church this past Easter. His physical death inspired a spiritual awakening. Keep fighting, Candace. It is honestly tremendous to consider that the push after Charlie died was so evangelical that they were angry and nasty and bitter towards Catholics. Like, you couldn't even just be like, oh, my last conversation with Charlie, I was like, take a step, become Catholic. And they were like, influencers. And yet, it, again, had the opposite desired effect. The Catholic Church grew so much after Charlie's assassination. And obviously, I'm sure you've seen this, but like the Southern Baptist Convention, the numbers have been way down and going down every year. And I think it's partially, in part, due, and this doesn't mean that every evangelical church is like this, but we've seen too many in the public eye using Charlie Kirk's name that appear to be completely and utterly fraudulent. People who take a position and a stage and say, I'm his pastor, or I was his pastor, and they just come across a complete sleazeballs that are actually not dedicated to faith, not dedicated to anything other than making people support Israel. So it is interesting to consider that, and also welcome home, as Catholics say. Kyle, it is just who I am, writes, so much self-Zionist in here right now. It's so hilarious that they are spending so much money to get accounts to say such brainless beef. They can't actually think it's doing anything, right? I don't think they realize that we've hit critical mass and we know that they're doing it. So it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I feel like it's a waste of so much energy. Like, they could just be doing something else, but they have to do this. It's terrifying, though, that they're just sharing my address in private chats. They are deranged and obsessed in a way that feels dangerous. And we knew when that was all happening, when they were publishing my kids' cars and stuff, and it was meant to scare me, and it is scary. It definitely is scary as a parent, obviously, that they just have no boundaries, and that I have no interest in publishing Erika's address. Like, why would I want to be in a chat with 91 people being like, this is where Erika lives? What is it about, actually? Just respond to the questions that are being asked of you. The truth is enough. Like I said, nobody is trying to take down Erika Kirk. We just want to figure out who killed Charlie Kirk. And for some reason, those two concepts for you are synonymous.
It's so controversial.
Finding out who killed Charlie Kirk is akin to taking down Erika Kirk. Why is that? Why is that? That's what we're getting from you. Ben the Beast writes, huge fan of yours and Andrew Tate. I love the interview that you did with him. What are your thoughts on his most recent arrest? In my opinion, it's another Matrix attack. Keep up the amazing work. So I had gotten very, like, whenever I comment on things, I always want to take the time to read files and understand what's happening and offer my, like, I guess, non-legal perspective. Like, I'm definitely not a legal professional, but I do feel like I understand legal documents. And I was very much involved in reading through his Romanian documents when the charges were against him. And I said, this case is going to fall apart. And people came at me and were like, how could you? And then the case fell apart. I had never seen such clear evidence that the girl, there were actual literal text messages in WhatsApp of her describing what she was doing and trying to get a free ride to Paris or London. And so I gave my opinion on that because I felt like my opinion was educated. I have not had time, given everything that's going on, to look into the UK case. I always felt like Romania was kind of holding him because the UK wanted them. And so I've just been, the only thing I know right now are the headlines, which is like, this is a case from just like Russell Brand. It's like a long time ago. I need to go through the documents, and I am intending to do that and to give my opinion on what's actually happening in the UK. Obviously, it is utter madness that Andrew and Tristan Tate are in solitary confinement, and we are living in a time where he got taken in Florida, the home of Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein just lived the greatest life there. Nobody that is a part of the Epstein network has been taken down. In fact, they have been covered up and have been protected by this administration. And so my mind just goes to just that understanding immediately that if any government was actually committed to taking down traffickers, the entire Epstein list and the people who were benefited and had relationships with Epstein and went onto that island would be exposed. And yet they are in power. So there's that. But I do intend to get into exactly the case and to explain to the public what's going on with that. Tony Hill writes, "Hi, Candace. Congratulations on the new baby. I'm always so happy for you every time, except I know that the time will come where you have to take a break from the show to welcome the baby as I sit with Candace withdrawals. LOL. Thank you for showing us true strength. We love you. Yes, maternity leave always comes with the news of the new baby. And I do miss you guys. And it's going to come around so quickly. And then I'll be gone, but then I'll be back. So there's that. And we'll have time to do a lot of research, which I can't wait for. That's why we take off every 6th or 7th week, whatever it is we do here, so that we can research because there's a lot of information and a lot of stuff that's coming out. And of course, they're going to be announcing soon, I guess September, September 5th, Ashley, that they're supposed to be saying whether or not they're going to go through with the Tyler Robinson trial. September 1st? Okay.
Yeah,
so
September
less than a
1st.
month. And that's going to open a whole new can of worms.
I'll be
Like I
there,
said,
guys.
I'm hoping it goes through. I want to see this thing through and see what this looks like and how they lie and how deep this is. So there's that. I certainly don't think Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk on a rooftop and acted alone. Olympia writes, "It sounds like Perez had a psychotic break. It's very sad, but honestly, when you live a life like that, you invite demonic activity into your world, in my opinion." I agree. All that glitters is not gold. And he's now he's a later phase in his life. He's understanding that his relationships were not real. What he did for a living really was not real. And I think he's kind of floundering. He doesn't know who he is or what his identity is outside of that early fame that he enjoyed. And that is why it is so important to build a life of substance, a life with family, a life with friends that are not pursuing the public eye. Like when we laughed, I remember that guy, Adam, on PBD was like, "Where are Candace's famous friends?" Like, what a bizarre thing to say. What does that mean? That's pursue real things in your life, things that are filling. And you will be fulfilled. There's that. And have faith. That is I really hope for him that he finds true faith. I think he's kind of in the wilderness right now. Lola Wild writes, "I love you, Candace. Let's give him grace. What if he was doing it for his kids because they were getting payback through a humiliation ritual or sacrifice one of his kids? Maybe leaving the Crowley Hollyweird cult. Pray for the kids." Absolutely pray for the kids. And I'm giving him grace. I don't have anything bad to say about Perez Hilton. Like, he's never done anything to me that I know of. Maybe he has. Maybe there was actually an article or two that someone told me about. It's not relevant to me and what I'm doing here. I just think that there is a broader conversation that needs to happen about what this symbolizes. And yes, there are elements of this that are demonic. And yes, you should pray for everybody, even your enemies, when they are dealing with a spiritual possession. I'm just saying that we are watching, and we have been watching, the collapse of Hollywood. He signifies that moment in a way, and beware of where that's reemerging, because it's the fake faith grift. I think we all see that exact same thing with a Bible bend, which is, to me, even more deeply demonic, to be honest. Okay. I think I answered everything. Oh, damn it writes, "To all of her detractors, I must say there is a beautiful soul glowing within Candace Owens." There is a beautiful soul growing, I should say, within You know, I just love my kids. They're so great. And I just have tons of kids, guys. I just should say that. They just make you laugh. They're so
Tons of
funny.
kids.
They're especially at this age where they don't know anything, but they think they know everything. And just the things that they say are just watching the way their brains work. Every single day, without fail, there's just a moment where I am just laughing so hard at something that one of my children has said. And it is important to give yourself that perspective too, dealing with little people problems. It just makes me happy every day. I think that's the reason why I'm happy, is because I have kids and they add joy to my life, and I have a full family life. Anyway, if you would like to support the show, you know what to do. Go to CandaceOwens.com, buy some merch, especially now that we've learned about this group chat. I think it's appropriate for you to buy a Stop Anti-Candacism. This is obviously a league that we are fighting. It's never been worse. The anti-Candacism that is going on, the coordination, 92 people. It's the right thing to do to show people that you won't deal with this kind of hate. It's a hate that mutates. It grows in group chats. They put my address there. It's getting dangerous. We need textbooks. We need textbooks to teach children. We need laws passed in Congress. This is a way that you can join and show your support for me, and again, stand strongly against anti-Candacism. It has been especially strong in the last year. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much. I love you guys. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, Candace. So Jamie was asking what it's like in the courtroom, and it's not, it's exciting because we, follow Allie. She is an amazing, I'm sure you guys do already, but if you don't, follow Allie Top Files, do it. Anyway, the mood in the courtroom for us, for the content creators who are there in support of truth and fighting for truth, whatever that is. And it's exciting because you get to connect with these people and have that energy like in real time, in real life. So that part is exciting. And so for me, that's the main thing that I felt. And so inside watching Erika and watch her turn on the tears where it seemed like it was appropriate to turn on the tears, that was really interesting to see that in real time, because yeah, it's different. And to see the influencers, her league of influencers, which I had posted on X, coming in like they did, that was a very interesting thing. And it's, they do that to intimidate. And I want to say in this era, this Trump era, we see the patterns, and I want you guys to recognize the patterns of attack, of intimidate, this cult mindset. And that's what we're under. If you dare, want to say anything that is outside of what they want you to believe about, outside of what they want you to see, they come with the intimidation tactics. They just try to bury you, and they've got these groups behind them. This right now, at this point in time, we're making history. We are making history, and there is no better time than to be a person who speaks for truth, who stands for truth, who says it and especially now because of people coming against podcasters and content creators and investigators like LA Top Files and many others, ADN, Baze, Elizabeth, Candace, all these people. There's no better time, because now that we see it, you guys, it's just like everybody's coming together. Content creators and researchers who have, been in their little bubble for a while and each separated and still kind of sharing information, but we're now all coming together. There's no better time to join in truth telling, to be a person who disseminates truth and who dishes out truth and who reposts truth. There's no better time, because you've got people behind you that are going to come up. Okay, we don't have like Benny Johnson and Officer Tatum and all that, but we are more. And we are not just for show and for the whole, Hollywood appearance that they want to make it. And so it's like the Wizard of Oz. Like, these people are behind the curtain, and for so long they've gotten away of appearing so big and so great, and we've bought into this lie. But now we're pulling back the curtain, and we can see all these little people, these little trolls behind the curtain who are trying to run things and let us believe it's one way when it's really another. There's no better time. I couldn't be more proud of the people who are standing up, and I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this movement, and you can too. So I'm so glad you're here. I really appreciate you guys. You guys join in tomorrow, 3 p.m. We'll talk more about this. I will have my thing I want to show you really on paper, really across the table of what it looks like, these parallels, because it's uncanny. It's uncanny to see it playing out in real time of the manipulation and the intimidation and really turning from what they claim to have been, right? Like the administration running on a platform, TPUSA running on a certain platform, and they're going this way together, and they want to pull us in, they want to pull us under, but they won't do it. They will not do it because we stand together. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And thank you to Phoenix, who is always there. She's my mod, and she's a friend, and she's a supporter. And so she just hops right in, and she's always right there. So I appreciate you guys. Also, spread the word. I am looking for an editor. I need somebody to help me. It takes me so long to do stuff. So anybody in social media who is interested in maybe a job, helping me edit things and cut things, I would love it. So just you can email me teresabetterlife@gmail.com, or you can send me a message through social media. I'm always there, and I cannot wait to see you again, and I can't wait to see you next time, and I'll see you soon. And if letters, when you catch this later on the replay, hello, we miss you, and we hope you're well. So bye, everybody. See you later.
This is a